Look at me. This isn't my prophecy face. This is my bad night face.
I think we should have been firemen. Hello and welcome. This is our review of the Netflix movie Bright. And we knew what we were getting into. Pretty much, it looked like very similar to Suicide Squad.
Which we were not fans of. I know that one has its fans out there. I can't understand why. I did not like that movie at all. But yeah, same director on Netflix this time.
Apparently, Warner Brothers wouldn't let him do everything he wanted on Suicide Squad, so this was his chance to redeem himself.
Given free reign, as he puts it.
Yeah, and it's very similar to Suicide Squad. Say it's not as bad as Suicide Squad, but it's still really bad.
Mm-hmm.
We did like his movie prior to Suicide Squad, the World War II tank movie, Fury.
I liked that one quite
Yeah.
a bit. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
After watching that, I was looking forward to seeing what David Ayer did next, and now I'm not.
No.
He's teaming up with Will Smith again in this one. The premise was completely wasted, I thought. Really clever idea.
They just didn't make it clever enough. They didn't. All the fairy creatures being in our world didn't transform the world as much as they should have.
Uh-huh. It was just our world. Just regular vehicles, modern buildings.
Modern weapons. Aside from the magic ones.
Yeah, guns. We have some swords, one sword in this universe. There's magic wands that are very rare, but everyone else has got guns. Just not fantasy looking guns or anything. No clever redesigns of what would happen if you mesh these two worlds. It's just, yeah, modern guns, modern lingo. We've got Uber drivers still. I didn't catch any social media references. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they established that apparently the Shrek movies exist. How does that work? I know there have been plenty of jokes, but how's that just...
It would have been funnier if Shrek was like a historical figure or something.
That would have been hilarious, yeah. But previous, like, real historical events did happen in this universe. They talk about the Alamo.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there were any others that I caught, but it's like, just, they can't figure out what the rules are here. What do we do? They reference new history that happened, that there was this battle 200 years, 2,000 years ago between humans and dark forces and orcs and whatever, but then that led to just the world being like it is today, except orcs are outcasts.
You'd think that foundation would make a completely different world.
Yeah, and that would have been interesting. I understand why they wouldn't have the budget for that for a Netflix movie, but it would have been, yeah, a far more unique take than just, it's our world, but just, here's a fairy, here's some elves, they just look a little fancy, they're kind of pale, they've got, the ears, but that's about the only thing that's special about them, so.
Yeah, and it wasn't really much different than our world, the urban politics just thrown in with fantasy creatures.
And they didn't really put a lot of work into that to really make it stand out. That this one's getting a lot of comparison to Zootopia, and yeah, I understand why, because watching the trailers, I immediately thought, oh, it's Zootopia, except with fantasy creatures this time. Zootopia was great because they really put a lot of thought into their universe of
And completely different
building.
than ours.
But a few things that are similar enough, and just just not as much thought or effort put into it here.
Yeah, especially like effort. We caught 2 seconds of a dragon in the skyline background in one shot, and they don't mention dragons anywhere else.
They never say, "Hey, dragons."
Like
ever. They talk about fairies. They show us a fairy encounter one again. They aren't brought up after the beginning, except for that last shot that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, like if dragons were dangerous, if they needed like special anti-air cannons or something for dragons.
Dragon repellent.
To protect the city, since it's a big city, and it's just flying over the city. And, oh well,
Like,
I guess it's wildlife.
How is this world just like our world is today if dragons exist?
It doesn't. They don't act like it's a big deal that there's a dragon flying over the city.
Yeah. That's the biggest question this movie offers. How do they deal with dragons? But they don't actually ask that question.
Like if they trained their dragons to be like life flighting helicopters, except dragons, that would be something.
And then the dragons turn on the populace, and then we've got a dragon war situation. Will Smith fighting dragons. I'd watch that.
They couldn't afford dragons, probably.
No. And I understand that, but everything's better when you've got dragons.
Yeah.
Will Smith riding a dragon, there's $1 million right there. From my own pocket, I'll go watch that.
Yeah. And along with the universe just not being integrated well, the dialogue throughout was absolutely awful. Like,
oof.
Our
first draft bad.
Yeah, our intro was quoting the dialogue. Just that's how bad it is.
Hopefully quoting. I didn't want to go back and look for exact quotes. I don't ever want to revisit this one again for any circumstance. But Will Smith felt like he was kind of just sleepwalking through this one. Like he was tapping into his routine in all his 90s action movies, except modern day Will Smith trying to be 90s Will Smith. I felt like just all those one-liners, except this movie acts like it's supposed to be like real world gritty, but we've got all the Will Smith zingers flying at you. I mean, non-stop, really. 90% of what comes out of his mouth is just a snarky remark. And I didn't find any of them funny.
Trying to recreate, like, Independence Day, Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. It was like every other line was trying to be that Welcome to Earth line. And just, that didn't work at all. I thought Joel Edgerton as his orc partner was good. Just the dialogue and material he was given was just crud.
Yeah. And okay, so go into any more plot than this, setting up the universe.
Really? What?
Did we say they were police officers?
Probably not.
Yeah, Will Smith and Joel Edgerton are police officers, and nobody likes Joel Edgerton's orc getting integrated into the LAPD.
The humans don't like it. The orcs don't like it.
Everybody.
Just. And then they come across this magic wand that I guess wands are extremely rare in this universe. And then, yeah, all hell breaks loose and everyone's after the wand. And just, I felt that plot we've just kind of seen in a dozen other fantasy movies, and they didn't do much new with it here.
And a prophecy that
Prophecy.
went
I'm
nowhere.
tired
It
of
didn't need a prophecy. It doesn't make sense that there's who gave the prophecy.
And the prophecy never really panned out in any significant way other than just helping out Joel Edgerton's character. But
yeah, and like, I guess that's what made that one group stand down at that one point, so they didn't kill them. That, yeah, the prophecy has to do with Joel Edgerton's orc, and then really the big thing that happens later involves Will Smith, and the prophecy didn't mention Will Smith at all. So I have no idea why the prophecy was relevant.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't relevant.
And when they said that line near the beginning that, oh, there's only this small group of people who can wield magic wands, and they're usually elves, and humans who can wield the wand are 1 in a million. I'm like, I wonder if we're gonna see a certain human wield this certain magic wand then. That's not gonna happen, is it?
And really, 1 in a million is actually would be a good handful of people.
Yeah, you'd think. Just, I guess there's not enough magic wands in this world.
That would make a good handful of people in LA be able to wield magic wands.
Yeah.
And then after it's all over, everything, all the terrible things have happened, they go through it all again. They're sitting in their hospital beds, or Will Smith is in the hospital bed, and then the overexcited Joel Edgerton orc is trying to explain to the Federals what all went down in his overexcited way.
That could have been funny.
Yeah, he goes through almost all of it. We should have timed that scene, but he goes on forever.
Every single point.
Yeah. And then Will Smith is trying to shut him up, and then Will Smith starts going through everything in a more proper official police officer way, and then goes through a lot of it again. And
it's still every single point that we just heard. And before that, we had just seen all that. We as an audience remember. You don't have to show us or try to remind us what happened. We saw it an hour ago.
Yeah, it was exposition after you've already seen it, and then
Why?
there was
Why
other
would you do that?
other bad exposition throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah. They just say things, and then later they'd catch you up, even though they had already said it. Just repeating themselves over and over. Just Joel Edgerton's delivery. I liked his character. It could have been really great, but I liked the voice he was doing. The makeup's really good.
Yeah, the makeup was good.
I'm afraid it's going to be another Academy Award for Best Makeup after Suicide Squad, the Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad. But
oh boy.
I sort of understood it there, and I'd understand it here too. Just, I don't like seeing these kind of movies winning awards. But, yeah, just if they would have given him some better lines, his character would have been that much better for it.
Yeah, scenes would go on way too long. Just going back and forth with the exact same responses.
And then they'd be cut just out of nowhere, too.
Yeah. so if we would rate this one, it's not good. It's not as, like, Suicide Squad was the absolute lowest rating you could probably give a movie.
I'd call that one of the worst, like, big budget action movies I've seen in a long time. I despise that one. This one, not that bad. I didn't get as angry as I did over Suicide Squad. I was just bored. Most of the plot we've seen dozens of times before, and yeah, they wasted that premise, and just, yeah, wouldn't recommend. I know there's an audience for this, but
yeah,
like there was for Suicide Squad, but I'm not part of that audience.
Yeah, so, and then, yeah, there was strong content advisory on this one.
That got really annoying really fast. Just gotta drop an F-bomb every 10 seconds. It seemed like with this one. Just, yeah. Just not my cup of tea. But
No.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when it comes to Bright?
Probably forget about it. Hopefully.
Uh-huh.
It's not gonna stick with me like
Suicide Squad
movies.
I was doing on for weeks. This one, I'll forget about it tomorrow.
And yeah, along with them just being the same director, they do have other similar stylistic choices, and that's why we keep comparing them.
Uh-huh. Just, yeah. The way they filmed both just really gray and dark, and lots of glowing objects that would just flash over the screen, leaving lens flares, and
Yeah.
not
Whenever
good to look
whenever
at.
they'd be near something magical, the lens would be so out of focus and kind of just neon colors flashing in your face. It just wasn't attractive to look at all. The whole movie as a whole, I think, was shot better in Suicide Squad, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And no standout action scenes here either.
No,
usually it looked its cheapest during the action scenes, like that one slow-mo shot. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell that was a Netflix movie there. So sometimes it would trick me. I'd be like, okay, this I could see this playing in the theater. But...
Oh yeah, and then there was that one part where Will Smith was shooting down people in L.A., and there's a song playing over
Oof.
that the lyrics in the subtitles are showing, and it's like British till the end or something. There's
Yeah.
a line or something.
Will Smith, British till the end. That's the one thing we know about Will.
It's just
Who made that choice?
had no place being in a movie during a big moment in an American movie with an American with a song that is clearly saying something about being British, and it's like, alrighty then.
His character was making this really important choice, and it all comes down to him being British.
Yeah. So, not recommended at all. This is another stinker. We're having quite a weekend, at least.
Yeah, I need to watch something really good really soon.
Yeah.
But yeah. You know what? If I'm gonna give this a rating, I'll give it one dead fairy.
That doesn't matter.
Just beat it to death on the curb and leave it to be someone else's problem.
Mhm.
He left it on his yard. He's not gonna clean it up.
Yeah, he's trying to sell his house and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
beat the fairy to death right in front of your house trying to sell.
He makes snarky remarks to the neighbors. Hey, I'm trying to sell my house. But he leaves a dead, bloody fairy on his yard or his sidewalk. That'll up the property value there, Will. British to the end.
British to the end.
Well.
Yeah. See you later.